A insurgent depositor has lost in his try to exceed the executive board of Barclays following a big most of shareholders elect versus the schedule. Just 12.8% of stockholder votes supported Edward Bramson proper a CEO at the banking's yearly general meet. Yet, the creditor came by flame above pay for top bosses, in a tertiary rejection its compensation paper. Mr. Bramson wants Barclays to decrease its invest banking to increase returns, but the banking says productivity is increasing. He added how down there was an stock option to hold Barclays invest banking, but just if it could be a worth property for investors. Mr. Bramson's company, Sherburne Investors Control, has accumulated a 5.5% share in the banking, manufacturing it Barclays' tertiary greatest stockholder, but brief of possessing monitoring. How tool he was capable to draw just a future 3.8% of stockholder votes for his reason. Mr. Bramson argues how Barclays invest banking is not advantageous quite and how control should attention on the creditor's retailer banking. Bramson may include his plume among his legs this evening but he is not outgoing. Marketing up now would see him understand a losing of hundreds of millions of pounds on a share he adopted above £1 trillion to purchase. Barclays has struggled to do the invest banking earn money quite to excuse the equity required to run it and if how persists, Bramson may win circle other to his reason. However, at part period, it's really lot Barclays 1, Bramson 0. Up the AGM, main stockholder Aviva Depositor pronounced affection in his stance, but rejected to behind him. It told Mr. Bramson was nice at critiquing the banking but had not proposed a plausible option policy. Income at Barclays invest banking rebounded recent year, growing 15%, though team income was plain. Shares in the banking include fall by a 5 in the history 12 months. Address shareholders, Barclays leaving President John McFarlane told Barclays executive board had solidly discarded Mr. Bramson's solution, assenting it would destabilize the banking. We've had a complete 12 months of pure and reputable profits, making income per stake of 20 pence, Mr. McFarlane told. While I united, we were losing making and dividend distribution were pay of reserves. We've solidly painted a link on the history. In a strike for the banking, yet, several 30% of shareholders elect versus the pay of top bosses next a fracas House ahead execution Jess Staley try to expose a debunker. Up the AGM, consultative team Institution Stockholder Services, ISS, suggested shareholders' voice versus the paper, disputing the compensation board had not correctly authorized Mr. Staley above the offense. It marked the banking had been penalized £15 by U.S. authorities above the case. And time Mr. Staley was individually penalized £642,000 by UK watchdogs, and the banking clawed behind £500,000 of early bonuses. Mr. Staley was yet pay a full of £1 for 2018, downward of £1 in 2017. Following the voice on Thursday, that is non-binding, Barclays told, we are frustrated in the result and will search and represent thoroughly on feedback loop of our shareholders.